Capricorn, how are you? Thanks for stopping by my channel. This is Mary Ellen. For those of you that are new, welcome. It's wonderful to be here for you. My channel's been picking up a lot of new subscribers. It's interesting how it goes in spurts. But thank you so much to everybody who has recently subscribed. And thank you, of course, to all of my valiant subscribers who've been with me for the 3 years I've been on YouTube. I really appreciate it. You are the wind beneath my wings. I was just saying that, I think, to Scorpio. So, Capricorn, looky look. My guides are saying, looky there. There's something very interesting going on. If you have been looking at your moon sign, your rising sign, things like that, you'll know. If you skip, my guides are saying, if you skip across the readings that have come out on my channel, you'll see that there's, we're at another sort of inflection point. It's actually been coming on through the eclipse season that we just ended. And then we had a new moon in Cancer. Now we're sailing into a full moon in Aquarius, which is fantastical. A type of culmination that within it brings the resurgence. So we know, it's going to be August soon in a couple days. I'm recording this in July, but we have really turned the corner. Things are continuing to intensify. And as you know, we're heading here in the U.S., we're heading into the days of the election. Things are heating up. So my guides, the reading that's coming out now, the cards came out and I sat here a little stunned and I'm looking and thinking, what is it they're trying to say? So there's a dual message for you this month. This is about the place in which you reside and what is happening in the world now. Obviously, as a result of all the work that you've done hosting Pluto in your first house. So we've been watching the cards come forward, talking about your eventual release. It's going to be a few more years, but we're getting really close to the end. And because you have been carrying the weight and doing the work energetically, in a sense, with Pluto in your sign, we see another indication that the work that you've been doing is taking hold in the world. And that's what this reading is going to be about. And we're going to talk about your earthly existence, your human being, and then your spirit being, your heart and soul reading. What's going on with love for you this month? So you're cutting yourself loose from something very electrifying is happening. And I think it's the energy of Aquarius that's coming through this full moon. So right now we're just at the little midpoint between the new moon in Cancer, which was really hard. It was a bumpy day. And now we're sailing into this moment of electrification. You are collecting the work that you've done. You are cutting yourself free from a lot of the things that have been troubling you yourself. So my guides are it's interesting. They're giving me an image of what happens, and you are the seagull, when there are a group of people and they're on a little boat and they're out in the ocean sort of having a day of fishing, and they come across a whale or some other creature and it's stuck in all the fishing nets. That's where you've been. That's how it's felt. And you now hold the knife. Ooh, it's interesting because of the cards that are here. You'll see. So you're holding the knife. The universe is allowing you to cut yourself free, and part of it is because you are going to be electrified, initiated your energy when this full moon comes. Do you see the figure of a human person? An awakening coming forward. Absolutely, no doubt in my mind. So when I was shuffling, a lot of oracle cards came out. And here's the story. So this is society. And you've been serving while the ants, meaning all the humans, while we go about what we're doing, you're watching. You're standing over the anthill, in a sense. And you're standing there like this. There's a moment coming forward. And when it does come forward, it is your energy that is going to be significant in bringing forward the transformation that's coming to the masses. That's what this message is about. Wait till you see the cards that are here. It's going to blow your mind. It blew my mind. So the first card out is always the theme that my guides want to speak about. And before I forget, The COVID-19, all the links are below. Okay, everything you could need to get in touch with me. Some links to some of the astrology about what's happening in these next weeks. And through the full moon, there's something there about soul growth. So I urge you to go and look at that. They have little butterflies, so you'll know that's the astrology stuff. The link to my website, you can contact me. I'm in the process of planning some classes, including another 2 sessions of the sacred meditation. So all that's there. I'll make an announcement. If you want a special priced reading, go scoop it up. Okay? So Scorpio, that's the Justice card in the traditional tarot. What we're talking about is the sacred healing that's going on and the place of wisdom into which you have arrived. And you understand. My guys just said the multiverse. So we're talking about interdimensional ability to understand the universe in the deepest way possible. Having traveled into the sacred bowl and back out again for a significant amount of healing. And it increases your travel in and out of this place through this full moon that's coming forward, is going to bring you to some kind of transformative, my guides just said session, which is really interesting. Transformative session. You're going to be illuminated. Dragonfly is about transmutation. It's really beautiful. So you're going into the sacred bowl with the triple saints, the triple goddess, the sacred sons of Brigid. Those are all the indications. And the elder flowers that the bowl is sitting on while it's floating in the universe are signatories of healing. Something really cool is happening. I really like this. So it's just actually exactly this mystical. The fact that this is the opening, my guides are calling it the opening salvo, is significant because of the oracle cards that came out, and because ultimately what this card indicates is you're finishing a cycle. And the tripartite soul is made free to go on to the next part of its journey, and its circuit of existence has been finished. So whatever the stages are that you've been going through, that Capricorn has been pulled through, and my guides are talking about, the way your energy's been utilized and all the effects that it has had on your life, including all the destruction that many of you have suffered through. You're being made free from that. And there's a lot of healing coming. You're coming into a moment of profound awareness on a spiritual basis. So if that's the theme, this is the card that represents you. Look at that. Major Arcana. So 2 major arcanas. And I'm just going to give you a teaser ad. I just want you to see what is standing next to. It's actually this way. The Counselor of Truth. That's the High Priestess. That's the core of this reading. So, it's a little confounding even to me. There's just an intense amount of energy happening at this full moon. I know it's the full moon, and you're in the in-between. You're in the days in between when a portal opened at the new moon, the Stone of Destiny was illuminated, and clearly you have been elevated into your position of a very profound wisdom holder because of everything that you know spiritually and about the universe, about yourself, about the battles you've been through. You have come into this station. And that is actually the Hermit. It's about the earth sign energy. Typically it's associated with Virgo a lot. So there you are. You've come into your maturity. You're able to receive from the universe. And you have a lot of wisdom. A lot of wisdom. And you're keeping company with the sacred bowl of all existence and the High Priestess. And you're sandwiched in the middle. So my guides are saying, just take note for yourself. So on a human realm, look. I like it. Look, the sun. Coming into the full light of the sun now. This card in this deck is the protector of sacred lore. It seems to me that in these days in between, some mystical process is happening. And you are watching the world like someone would watch an anthill. all the coming and going, all the industry, all the hustle and bustle, and you are standing in a very mystical way, exquisitely aware of what is happening on a spiritual basis. And you are coming into your time of abundance because you've done your duty, basically. And you understand from that perspective, that deeply mystical perspective, that's why in this deck we see this person standing on the hill at Epona with the sacred chalk drawing and destiny's turning. So everything that's aligned with the sun, full illumination, massive abundance, everything going forward in a way that's fabulous through the month of August. And because you have this and this and this, you're at a 0 point, you're at a new place. So the next chunk of your journey is coming forward. Something very beautiful is coming into closure and illumination at the full moon. And when that happens, then of course you are released, just the way this card talks about the tripartite soul being released because it finished a circuit of his existence and it's free now to go on to whatever the next journey is going to be. And you're going to go forward in this way, filled with compassion for the entire universe and fully illuminated in your being. Thank you, Spirit. Fully illuminated with spiritual knowledge. And you're going to get zapped again. Something's going to happen and you're going to have some kind of a download, I think. So then it stimulates a new soul journey. Look. Do you see the bowl? Look. Look where you're going, Capricorn. I mean, okay, it's always hard to figure out which way because it's backwards. You're going into the bowl. So fully illuminated, you walk out onto a new soul journey. You are literally having some type of awakening. The cards are all over the table. So you have produced the ability on a human level to be literally in touch with the universe and to finish your soul cycle, your circuit of existence and the trials and tribulations that you've had. And you're going in for your healing through a Kundalini awakening. You have created so much strength. My guys are talking about like an oak tree. And you have been creating seeds. And there's your life standing in the universe. It's a representation of you, right? The tree of life. That's how you stand. That's what it looks like in nature. Because you are the sacred god of the earth. Cernunnos is the Capricorn card. The antlered god, the stag god of the forest, living among the trees. And you are now sending out seeds so that they can be carried forward in your life. And the seeds of your existence and all the things that you have learned and understood and contributed to in terms of society, the little anthill, you take it to the temple in order to have a sacred audience with the high priestess and to have the seeds blessed so they can go out on the wind. That's what's happening here. And then you meet up with the high priestess to be, my guides are saying, for sanctification. This is something you're going to do. Do a ceremony on the full moon. She's the guardian of truth. And she stands next to the counselor of truth. You are in complete alignment with this energy. And it's also, interestingly, male-female. You know, some of you are coming into a sacred partnership. That's part of what this is about. Because when you get to this point in your life, you have to have someone who's equally advanced in order to be with you. So this station that you've reached and all this illumination and the freedom that you have been given on a soul level, now you get to go and stand in front of the temple and ask for an audience with the high priestess. She's the guardian of truth and she's the guardian of the gateway. And you clearly are going through the gateway. There's no doubt in my mind. It sits on the table like this. Check it out. So if that's your human life and the energy that ties you to your soul existence, which is here on the earth with you in a very exquisite way, here's what's next. There's the Kundalini awakening. That's literally it. That's the world card. You are being made free, Capricorn. The circuit of this existence that brought you to this moment is done. And I know And my guides have been talking about it in lots of ways and giving you lots of love and support and acknowledgement. Okay, they're talking about last year in November how we all had to make choices and we sort of had to jump timelines, which way you're going to go. From here forward, how are you going to... Okay, my guys are talking about how are you going to present yourself, how are you going to show up. And for you Capricorn, you took the more difficult yet correct pathway. And so you've been on this next phase of your soul journey. And here in August, because it's ushered in with this gorgeous full moon in Aquarius, bringing forward, all the enlightenment that an Aquarius full moon will bring. Bringing things to illumination. Some things are coming to closure. And you go forward on the illumination of a Aquarius full moon that'll carry you forward for 6 months. So the World card, see the Kundalini awakening at the root chakra. There are the petals of wisdom that you're going to pick up over the next year. A new cycle coming forward from this point to next summer. And then we see the crown chakra awakening, Kundalini awakening, the pineal gland. So if you're new and you don't know, do you see the swastikas on the breastplate? So that indicates 4 seasons, and the swastika is a very ancient symbol. It's been around for 12 or 13,000 years, and it's about the turning of sacred energy. Many people associate it with the turning of sacred feminine energy. And in many of the most sacred places across the globe, you can find symbols of the swastika, because the ancient people knew that it was the turning of a very powerful form of sacred energy. And again, if you're new and you don't know, the Nazis took that symbol because they knew about that. They knew how powerful it was, and they turned it backwards in order to corrupt the energy and give themselves power. And they were able to create a massive amount of pain and suffering and destruction, but ultimately it was their undoing. And that's the reason why. So when you get to this place of literal awareness and awakening, you're going to be able to free yourself. This is the 8 of Cups. You're either walking away from some internal situation, because it sits like this. Now that you're in your wisdom, you're not going to stay. My guides literally just said crappy. You're not going to stay in a crappy relationship. You're not going to stay in any situation in which you don't, it doesn't serve you or bring you happiness or joy, because this is the bowl that you're in now. That's literally how it sits on the table. You're walking away from something. And, it has everything to do with the turning of your destiny, definitely. And some of you are going to be leaving a relationship behind, or leaving behind the habits that were built into a relationship. My guides have been talking about it a lot. And when you walk away, because you are a mystical being now, you are of the universe, literally. That's what I'm seeing in these cards. When you do that, something very mystical is going to happen in terms of your soul partnerships. Look, we've seen her a lot this year. That's the sacred goddess of sovereignty. She's in disguise as the sacred hag, and she controls love energy, abundance, water, and you are the sea goat. So that part of you that has to do with the water element is coming into its fullness. And there's something about the way in which that part of your soul destiny, your soul identity is about to reveal itself. That's part of what's happening. So the story about this woman is she just sits in her place with this barrel of water. And suitors come and ask her for water because they ran out of their water stores. 4 princes out on a sacred journey to determine who's going to be the king. And they ran out of water, and they went out to look for water, and each one they came across her, no matter which direction they went. And she just sat there. See how she's looking at you? Right? So when a suitor or somebody who wants to have access to the sacred love energy and your connection to the universe, you sit there and you just peer at them until they can understand and reveal their true nature to you. That's what you're doing. So the fact that this is on the soul level is telling me, again, you see the new moon initiated this. and you are going through some deep mystical change. And it is only the person who is able to see through the disguise and understand the treasure, thank you, Spirit, the treasure that is actually inside this disguise. So that's a story. The Eight of Cups in this deck is a story about some people that found a treasure map. And they found the treasure, and when they stepped up onto the platform to plunder the sacred bowl, they got stuck to it. It's fascinating. My guides are saying it's a fascinating psychological study. So in all these ways, this being the theme of the reading, about the way in which you're going to be walking into your destiny, into the sacred bowl of healing and all creation, you're letting go of something on a soul level because of the service you've provided. You're done with it. You're not stuck to it anymore, Capricorn. And the warts are going to fall away. It's over here. Because you have this massive awakening with the full illumination of the sun and the world card, a very new soul circuit begins because you have been released. It doesn't mean that you are, you still have Pluto in your first house. But the other things that are at play in the universe, because humanity is beginning to take up its responsibility, you are released from the intensity of the service. Look. And you walk toward your own destiny, and you sit in your spot because you've amassed this much power as to be able to shapeshift and be a sacred sovereign over your realm. And it's on a soul level. So we are talking about the intentions of my guides are saying, of the soul universe, about this place that we're in. And you are just sitting there watching us do our little anthill thing as the story comes to fruition over the course of the rest of the year. And then what happens for that woman is her sacred lover does come along, and she asks him for a kiss in order to have access to the water. And he's the only one that says, is that all you want from me? Like, you just want some love energy in return? You have no idea how thrilled I will be to meet that demand. Here's the outcome. The sacred magician. And the young man who was able to understand the request that that sacred woman in disguise was making, got down off his horse and put his arms around her, gave her a kiss with love and dignity and respect and true gratitude, because she was saving his ass. And he knew her power. And he didn't care about the warts. We all have warts. And then the disguise dropped. He rose to be the king, and she became his queen, because she is the queen of sovereignty. It's such a cool story, the way it's coming out in these cards. So the sacred magician, fully activated at the will center, able to give of himself and to create what he wants because he is aligned with the sacred Dada, out of whose realm comes the bowl. This is just giving me a shiver. So some of you are going to meet a soulmate, quantum partner. Something's going to happen for many of you, because you've really, this is about you standing in your power. And we know you have a lot of power anyways. You just do, because you're a Capricorn. You're solid. And you've been dragged through it, Cappy, haven't you? I know, ever since 2008. It's been hard as hell. I'm an earth sign. Some of it my guides are saying, some of it rubbed off on Taurus and Virgo. Yeah, because we're earth signs. Well, I've been feeling it. I've been through a lot of challenges of my own. So when this person comes forward, there are two things coming out about this. Of course, we could be talking about you and you. The way you wielded magic as a soul being to come into this place for this exalted purpose. And your magic is returned to you because your soul has been made free. Because you've done your job. Getting all choked up now, Cappy. You know how much I love you. Look. The Decider of Will. So, here's the last card that came out. I was putting the deck away, and this just flipped right out. Earth Angel. So, I think it's a shout out from the guides, again, because they love to give you props through this channel. Yes, you are an Earth Angel. Look at you standing there, shimmering and shining and fully developed. It's so beautiful. I think for those of you who are destined to meet a sacred partner of some kind that's going to walk with you through the realm that you've created for this next phase of your journey, however long that may be, it's going to be magic. And it's going to feel like, oh my God, I found my earth angel. Because it sits on the table like this. That's what the magician is cooking up. Look how beautiful that is. All the colors of the spectrum. So, Cappy, let's pick from the bag of runes. Ooh, really, it's a mystical time. Go take a look at your moon sign, your rising sign, and your Venus sign, and just take a taste. My guys are saying of what some of the other readings are spinning out. It'll blow your mind. It's an intense moment that we're in. Love this. Look at that. So I'm going to read that to you from the book, just because I want to make sure that you have the words of the text rather than the words from Miss Mary Ellen. Okay? I think it's important because it's a deep reading today. Really deep, very mystical. So we are talking in a sense about the way you move. This whole reading is about movement. And, sorry, didn't say it. That's the room for movement. Something fabulous is going on. In the way this movement is happening, because of the power that you have, and you've been willing to carry the burden for all of humanity, now the moment of electrification comes and humanity is ready to take up their own responsibility, and we see it happening. There we go. Whoops. See that? So, Awaz is a rune of transit, of transition and movement, physical shifts, new dwelling places, new attitudes, and a new life. It also signifies movement on the sense of improving or bettering any situation. There is about this rune a sense of gradual development, steady progress with the accompanying notion of slow growth through numerous shifts and numerous changes which you've been through. This could apply to the growth of a business or the development of an idea that you have. A relationship may need to undergo changes if it is going to live and grow. Moral effort and steadfastness are called for when you draw movement, because it is one of the cycle runes leading to initiation. Let it be said this way: as I cultivate my own nature, all else follows. So this rune's symbol is the horse, and it signifies the bond between horse and rider. Bronze Age artifacts showed a horse drawing the sun across the sky. And Awaz is saying you have progressed far enough, thank you, Spirit, to feel a measure of safety in your position. And now it is time to turn again and face the future reassured. Prepare to share the good fortune that comes your way now. This sharing is significant since it relates to the sun's power, thank you, Spirit, to illuminate all things with its light. That's what you're carrying. We see multiple factors of illumination, 3 really, in this reading. We have the sun. We have this idea of illumination through awakening. And we have that. So, Capricorn, my guys are chattering in the background. And basically what they're talking about is this. So, they want you to lean into this and to celebrate and to have a party on the full moon. And as you move through the month of August, here's what they're talking about. The month of bounty, the month of the earth sign people, when we begin to harvest the seeds, thank you, Spirit, that have been planted. And these are your seeds, beautiful Capricorn. It's astounding to me that this is coming out this way. I love it. So, watch around while you're out there on your soul journey. There's somebody coming forward into your life, and it's going to be beautiful and mystical. And because they're magic like you're going to be able to create something beautiful with that person, because it is your illumination that it's going to draw them forward like a magnet. And you will recognize each other. That's why Earth Angel is here, I have no doubt. So, Cappy, have a wonderful month of August. Thank you so much for spending some time with me once again. And I'll look forward to seeing you in September, Goddess willing. Thank you.